Hi, I am Yuan, and this is my presentation for business ethics. Today, I will be sharing a real-life workplace moral issue and analyzing it using Aristotle virtual ethics. This case is based on the real situation during a project that had super tight deadlines and a client who kept changing his requirements. The pressure was constant and the entire team had to deliver quickly while remaining flexible. Under this kind of stress, people respond in different ways, and in this case, individual A and B handle it in very different ways. Their reaction and behaviors have a big impact on the direction of the project and the team atmosphere. Let's start with individual A. A was calm, steady, and patient. Even when the client suddenly proposed unexpected changes before the deadline, A did not panic. He simply took a deep breath, reorganized the tasks, and adjusted with others without any complaint. A also created space for others to contribute. During this period, when all the teammates were clearly overwhelmed, A helped them break the task down into steps. This calm, methodical behavior was critical in helping the team stay stable and focus on track. However, individual B reacted to stress very differently. He became frustrated with both the client and some of his teammates. He began to speak ill of other teammates behind their backs and made passive-aggressive comments in meetings. Sometimes, he refused to respond to requests for collaboration or delayed the feedback. When the situation became particularly tense, he would even show his frustration in front of the client. As a result, the team began to avoid individual B, causing some communication to break down. Everyone could feel the tension, which made it more difficult to successfully complete the project. Through these observations, I discovered that A presented the virtue of patience. Patience means being tolerant of stress, delays, and imperfections. It does not mean doing nothing, it means taking action while maintaining emotional balance. A remained calm and composed when facing client demands. His patience also helped others perform better and complete their respective tasks under pressure. As for B, two of his vices are obvious. The first is impatient. He reacts emotionally, interrupts others, and shows frustration when delayed or any problem. The second is spitefulness. This is reflected in his constant reaction with refusal to cooperate, resentment, and damage to trust within the team. Both behaviors make collaboration difficult and undermine team morale. In Aristotle virtue ethics, patience is the balance step between apathy and impatience. It means being emotionally steady and tolerant in the face of difficult without being indifferent or reactive. In challenging moments, I focus on maintaining a balanced emotional response, staying composed even under pressure, and also practice self-control, choosing to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Throughout team discussions, A helps to create a more stable and constructive environment. Now, let's look at impatience. Impatience means lack of tolerance when faced with obstacles or delays. B shows his impatience by expressing stress, interrupting others, and rushing them. Not only lack of self-control to disrupt communication, but it also creates a stressful environment for others. The second vice that B shows is spitefulness, which is an overreaction to indignation. Indignation is when we get angry about injustice, and it can be a good thing if it is channeled. But B is not reacting to injustice. He is reacting out of personal emotion. He gets irritated, and instead of addressing the issue, he refuses to cooperate and starting blaming others. Spitefulness is not just a team problem, it is a moral problem. It shows that unchecked emotion can turn into something toxic. So, how can individual B become more virtuous? To overcome impatience, B could practice active listening. Simply holding back and letting others to finish their words can make a big difference. In stressful moments, stop and think before reacting. even journaling or reflecting after a meeting to see what triggered their reaction. These are small habits, but they can help to rebuild self-regulation. To reduce spitefulness, B needs to do the following. First, build emotional awareness and recognize when frustration turns to resentment. Second, communicate concern more directly, but respectfully rather than gossiping or withdrawing. Lastly, keep the team shared goals in mind. It is easier to act fairly when we shift our focus from personal frustration to team success. This kind of reflection fosters moral goal. All in all, this case study helps us to understand how different behaviors, whether driven by virtue or vice, can affect teamwork and project outcomes. Applying Aristotle's golden mean principle, we can interpret and evaluate these behaviors. Thank you for listening. That is my presentation. Thank you for your time.